Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is our quick little update. Today, what we got going on is we're going to do our normal Sunday water change. Going to do a quick little 10-gallon exchange. And I'm also going to help you guys out, pick out what type of, or how to choose a pair of clownfish. This is actually our third pair of clownfish. So we had two maroons that we've tried to pair up, and that didn't work out. As you can tell, my favorite color is red. I wanted to do the maroons. It was too much of a pain. My second pair ended up almost fighting to the death, basically, and I didn't realize, what I should be looking for until I saw actual tears on the fins. But this is our third pair. They're doing amazing, and I'm gonna help you try to make sure that you make the right pick and that you see exactly what you should see, so that your fish don't get harmed and you don't your investment doesn't go to waste. But right now, we are going to go to Cleveland Aquatic Gems. We are going to check in with Greg, wonderful Greg, who's going to hook us up. And then after that, we'll come back, do the water change, and I'll inform you guys on some of the things you should look at when you're choosing a pair of clownfish. All right, we are at Cleveland Aquatic Gems, and a couple things that I want to go over is what does bad look like when it comes to pairing. Definitely not the best sight to see, but Yeli, if you can point the camera to this maroon clownfish right here, make sure you zoom in and focus if possible. So you have the fin that's kind of like pecked off and whatnot. These fish actually, again, when you're going through the pairing process, it's pretty sucky. I would say if you have the time, try to keep them separated. And then if you have a busy schedule and once you're available, make sure you keep an eye on them as much as possible as they're, biting. You don't want to see, permanent damage. Like those fins right there probably aren't going to grow back or recover. So basically that's just what they have to deal with. But this is the bad part of trying to pair a fish, especially the maroons, some of the more aggressives, tomatoes sometimes. Shouldn't really have any issues with like the normal ones to this extent, but definitely something to keep an eye on when you're trying to pair up a pair of clownfish. We can look at some other pairs that are in the shop and then kind of see how they work together. All right, so when we look at pairing clownfish, a couple things you want to try to do is you really don't want to mix match. You can just need to make sure that you keep an eye on them and make sure that you're keeping, checking them out. But if you look at here's a ton of clownfish, different styles of them. Obviously you never want to put two big ones together, or you don't want to mismatch them. So again, you want to try to keep them, if you're going to either do them similar size or one big with one smaller one that you can tell, but not too small to the point where it can just get destroyed. So as you can see, they're nipping at each other, but they're not like destroying each other's fins. Just one of those things that like you only really want to keep a pair of clownfish in a certain size of aquarium. But like I said, it shouldn't, as long as it's not causing any damage to the fin itself or anything like that. You shouldn't run into too many issues. They have around the shop. Probably put in some B-roll of what they have. And then once we're back, we'll kind of go through a quick water change and then go over more of the clownfish facts. Thank you. We are back at the house, and a couple of things to kind of go off of what we were already talking about. When I said be careful how you pair, you want to make sure you pair up two ocellaris or two percolis. If I remember correctly, those are the two different breeds of clownfish. want to make sure that you can intertwine the snorms and all that stuff as long as they're of the same kind. You do not want to separate the ocellaris and the other ones. Very, very important. Like I said, the maroons, when you'll get through that fighting stage where, and this is just with clownfish in general, where they can be stubborn and not want to and not want to pair up. And what ends up happening is either one of them is going to get so damaged that it's or so hurt that it's not going to be able to survive, or it's literally going to die. So you don't want to run into that situation. Based off my own personal experience and things that I've read, I would say that if you have the ability, have something that you can separate them, or if you're going to buy them, make sure that you have the time to just stare at them and see what they are doing. Again, my Darwins, I can literally just stare at them, and sometimes they mess with each other, but they do not damage. They don't go to the point where like they're damaging each other like really bad. And you can see their fins are all perfectly fine. That maroon is an example of where you do not want to let them get that far, because there is a good chance that not all of that fin is gonna heal up, and it could potentially die. And it's a crappy situation when we think about it for the fish, and for if you're the person who invested the money. There's also that portion of it. But clownfish are very good. They're like, whenever you talk about starting a tank and getting that quick cycle, if you're not trying to wait, they're a hardy fish. It's just a matter of finding the right pair and just combining and figuring out what you want. It's a process. Some get bigger than others. Some are more expensive than others. But you can never go wrong with a clownfish, if I'm being completely honest with you. Just to kind of recap, we just did a 10-gallon water change. I just fed the fish. I kind of opened up the live rock a little bit, so there's more fluidity in the tank itself. I also was a little nervous on certain things falling down. I took out the live rock that was in the middle, so it's a little bit more open. I moved the zoanthids to the back. What was happening was, because they were in the front, Yelly, show them this. I moved the zoanthids right here. This should be a good location, at least for right now, so that they can grow, so that nothing basically messes with them and doesn't get them upset. So they should be good over here. And then they should be able to continue to grow. So it should, hopefully that's what I'm hoping for. And then on the front side, if you guys haven't noticed, while I went to Greg's, I went to go get some water. I got a mushroom, nice little beautiful mushroom. This is typically where my clownfish sleep. So they usually are in this little corner hugged up together, and they just kind of, do what they do. Mine, and don't be nervous. I was nervous a little bit, but mine lose a little bit of color in the night. They look like they're almost like pale. It's hard to explain. And then on top of it is sometimes they kind of like move with how the water is flowing, or they don't, it looks like they're just swimming, but they're literally in that rest state where they're just, resting. And they kind of just lay on the bed of the sand. But hopefully I'm hoping that, they'll combine with this, and, it'll be like a nice little, color scheme for them to kind of hang out next to. And if it gets big enough, they'll mess with it a little bit. But that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Continue to leave me comments. That's like the most helpful thing. If I'm doing something, or if you see me doing something that I can be doing better, if there's a better way to do it, show me or tell me how you do it, so that I can integrate it into my process, if I'm able to do it. On top of that is just, continue to give me feedback on things that we can do better. Reason why I'm in this hobby itself is, one, my family loves it, and two, I love animals as a whole, and fish. Anything that's water is what really makes me happy. I love to come back from work, sit on the chair and just kind of watch the tank and see what they do. I love when I feed them, when they go into their what they do on a typical basis. And then I just like seeing the personalities. Every fish does certain things, and you start to notice it over time, which is it's just fun to see. You know what I'm saying? So continue to give me feedback. Continue to drop those comments. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. I'm just gonna try to continue growing. Like I said, we'll drop an update every week if possible, and I'll make sure I try to drop shorts in between the week as well. But outside of that, you guys have a great day. Much love from my family to you.